What is up, everyone? JD here. Got an interesting new model to check out with you guys today. Let's jump into it. All right, today we got the Gecko Custom Knife Works Sekorae. This is a very interesting model. It is being manufactured by Bestech, and you got a lot of nice stuff here. Not that uncommon. You got titanium handles, titanium frame lock with steel lock bar insert, titanium pocket clip and backspacer, and you do have all titanium hardware. So nothing super special here, but this is another model being manufactured by Bestech with Magna Cut steel. So that is very interesting. Not something that you do commonly see. Nice tall flat grind. You got a half moon shape or a smile opening hole here. Again, it is a frame lock with an internal relief cut here. No weight relief cuts on the inside of the scales, but that is because there is the cutout for the inlays. I think there's at least 2 versions of inlays. There may be more, but definitely check the website for that. The pocket clip on this one worked pretty good, goes in and out of the pocket. There was 1 or 2 times for some reason it caught funny, but most of the time going in and out of the pocket nicely. The relief cut for the chamfer here is a little small. I do have to really fight to get in there, so I don't love that chamfer. I think it needs to be a little bit bigger. I'm sliding over it. It's just a little too bull-nosed. I think it needs to be a little bit longer. And then I think some micro milling cross cuts here would really help to alleviate that for me with the larger hands. Even when I go to pick up with the index finger like this, it is a little tight and I do have to really kind of wedge in there. Otherwise, I just kind of slip off. It's not very comfortable to disengage. The other thing that I do think is a little bit of an issue while cutting with this one, I noticed that it did have a nice factory edge. It did seem to be fine, even though it had gone through the pass-around group, so I'm assuming the Magna Cut is at a good heat treat. Very slicey, tall, flat grind, moving through the materials nicely. No issues with any of that, but that forged choil wasn't big enough for my index finger, and because of the fact that they did get the sharpening choil right on this one, it is a little sharp on the finger, so when I'm locking it in, I have to make sure that I canter back a little bit. Definitely more of an angled than it is a over top. When it's over top, I actually land directly on top of the very edge of the sharpened edge there. So I don't love that, but I just need to make a small adjustment, trigger pull it, and then I'm able to get through that easily. So what I'm saying with all of that is this is probably more suited for small to right at the limit of a large hand. If you have double XL size gloved hands like I do, it's going to be a little tight for you. May not love this as your primary carry, but other than that issue and the lock bar issue, everything else feels comfortable. Even when I choke back to get out of that forged choil, I'm okay. I think what would have been nicer for me on this one is if they would have just widened this up a little bit, got rid of that forged choil and just made it a sharpening choil and had a little bit of the blade left over where the grind came back and it was open a little bit so that I could kind of land up on it here. I think that would have worked a little bit better for me, and I think aesthetically it would have still accomplished the same thing, a very clean, nice looking design on this one. Like I said, the Magna Cut performed very well. The bearings in here are very smooth, nice shaker, good detent, even for the thumb flick. Yeah, good detent, not too soft, not too strong, nice and centered, feels locked up and down, side to side, feel very locked up. So everything build wise seems to be done very nicely. Good fit and finish. The transitions on the insert are good. I do feel just a little bit of a bulge here, but that is because of the slight contouring. I'm hoping that'll show up on camera. You can see that slight contouring there. But let's go ahead and do some size comparisons and then we'll weigh the knife. All right, on the table, we got the Spyderco Manix 2 Lightweight, and we have the CJRB Echo. The Manix 2 is going to be more full size, just a little bit of a larger knife, and then the Echo to me is going to be like the perfect medium-sized EDC. And you can see that the Sekorae is really close in size. It's not exact, but really close to that Echo as far as the size is concerned. Let's do a couple more. All right, next out, I have my We-XL for the large size comparison, and then the Benchmade Bug Out for that more medium-sized comparison. And as you can see, just a little bit smaller than the Bug Out, which is why I feel like that forged choil was so important to nail on this one. Let's grab the scale and check the weight. All right, scale out. Let's cut her on and see where the Sekorae is coming in weight-wise. Coming in at 3.5 ounces. Really good weight. No issues with that at all. It's going to be easy to carry every day. It's not going to be too heavy in the pocket. Definitely will even flex into, in my opinion, the summertime carry where a lot of people like to be under 3, but at 3.5, it's not going to be a horrendous carry for your summertime carry if you want something that definitely has all premium materials. Let's get the scale out of here and wrap up with final thoughts and impressions. Final thoughts and impression times, guys. I grade on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being the lowest score that you can get, 10 being the best, and budgets are capped out at 7 just because it gives me wiggle room for things like this that have super steels and all titanium hardware, including all of the, and let me double check the pivot. I can't remember. Feel like the pivot, yeah. Pivot is titanium, and yeah, all of the hardware is titanium. So full titanium loadout on this one, which I really do like. The things that I take into account, ergos, fit and finish, performance, and price point. So really important to hit on all of those things. Having said that, this, when it first released, was $400 for a Bestech build with magnet cut steel. A little high in my opinion, especially when you had Vero come out with the Nova starting at $360, nearly $40 less. Now I know EMP EDC's relative, when it first dropped, I think that had magnet cut if I recall correctly, and I think the pre-order price was like $330-ish. I could be wrong, but I feel like they're still like $350, $360 with a Bestech build with magnet cut steel. And I think that's probably a little bit easier to swallow. Having said all of that, I did go check the website. As of this recording, they do have these listed at $350, which I think is way more in line and a lot more competitive. For me personally, I am actually going to land at a 6.8 with this one. The reasons being is I don't like the lock bar access. I really am annoyed by slipping off of that to disengage it. And then for me, with the larger hands, not having a large enough forged choil to be able to just grab it and start cutting with it in that forged choil without being nervous about accidentally cutting the inside of my finger there. But if you have smaller hands, I think this will be really nice for you, especially in that medium wheelhouse. I think it's going to work in either grip for you. I don't think you're going to have any issues getting a smaller finger in there. I'm using my smaller hand with the ring finger in there, and I just fit. And then, of course, even smaller than that is going to be much better for your needs. Other than that, build quality on here is good. The magnet cut seemed really good on there. Just wish it was a little bit bigger and a little bit roomier and about $20 cheaper. I think, you know, for what you're getting, nothing really stands out on this one. I honestly would probably push you towards the Relative, or I would probably push you towards the Nova or the Mini Nova if you're interested in something like that. I just think those are a little bit better lines ergonomically, going to be more comfortable in hand for you to use. So the Sekorae is a good knife, but not the best knife in this price segment, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about the Sekorae. I will link this one. I have no affiliate with them, but I will link it so that you can run over there and check, see if it is still $350. They had this black and white inlay, and then I think they had like a gecko colored inlay as well, which looked really good. I was very excited about this one. I think if it would have been a little bit bigger, it probably would have pushed into the 7s for me, especially at the sale price. It would have really been competitive with like my Nova and the Relative, which I really loved as well. If you're going to be doing any shopping, definitely hit the affiliate links in the description. If you enjoyed the video, a like would be appreciated. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you follow along. And a special shout out and thanks to my channel members out there. You guys are awesome. I'm out of here. I love you all. Have a great week. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.